Hi, this is Richard Byrne at freetech4teachers.com. In this video, we're going to take a look at how you can create place marks, layers, and polygons in Google Maps Engine Lite. To get started, we're going to go to mapsengine.google.com, sign into a Google account, and click Create a New Map. Now, the first thing we want to do is create a title for our map. So just click on Untitled Map. Let's give it a title. This map is going to be about places to see in Maine. We'll put a little description in, according to Richard Byrne. Alright, now by default your map is going to have one layer, and we want to title that layer. Let's go ahead and say places to see in the summer. And now we're going to create our first place mark. There's a number of ways we can make place marks. Probably the simplest way for many students would be to just put in a search up here, and let's say we want to go to Old Orchard Beach, Maine. So we'll search, the place mark will appear for us. We can then click on it and click Add to Map. So now that place mark, you'll notice, has become a part of this layer for places to see in the summer. We can edit this place mark to include more information. So let's do that by clicking Edit. Say Old Orchard Beach. Great place to relax in the summer sun. Or we might say, or take a walk on the beach. I want to add a picture to this place mark. To add a picture, the picture does have to be hosted online somewhere. And I have a picture here that I found on Pixabay, which is a source of free public domain pictures. I'm going to copy that link and put it here in the image field and add it. And now that picture has been added to our place mark. Let's go ahead and save it. If we want to further customize the place mark, we can by clicking on the little paint icon here. And we can change the icon color, the shape, or we can add something that represents that particular activity. So in this case, we might say, put in someone that's going swimming or going sailing at the beach. Let's say we want to go sailing. So now we've added that as our place mark instead of using the default red place mark. Alright, so another way that we can add place marks to our map is to simply scroll across the map, zoom out until we find the location that we're looking for. Maybe I want to go up here to Phippsburg, for example, and I'm going to click the little marker icon, click it once, and then click my map again, and now it appears, and I'll give this a title, and we'll say visit Phippsburg, and we can say there's great striper fishing here. And again, if I want to add a picture, I just copy and paste it there, but I don't have a picture that represents fishing handy, so I'll just save it. And we can zoom out again and add another place mark. We might say we want to go to Lake Umbagog, which is up here on the border of New Hampshire and Maine. And I'll click it once, and click it again, and say Umbagog. And it's a great place to see moose. And I do have a picture of a moose, so I'll copy and paste the link, and then put it in place and add it. Let's save that. Okay. So we've made one layer. I want to make another layer of places to see in the winter. So let's go ahead and click Add Layer. And this time I'm going to actually import data from a spreadsheet. I'm going to title that layer and say winter places. Now let's import from a spreadsheet. If you have your spreadsheet saved on your computer, you can upload it, or if you have it saved in Google Drive, just go to My Drive, and we'll say, pull in my spreadsheet of places in Maine. And your spreadsheet should be set up with a column for place name and a column for location. Your location can be a city-state format, or it can be a latitude and longitude format. So we're going to position our place marks according to location here. And now we're going to title our markers. So we'll use our place name column. And those places will be added to the map automatically for me. Now again, I can customize each one of these place marks. Let's say skiing in Sunday River. I can click on that and I can edit. If I want to change the color of the icon, we can go ahead and use a little paint icon again, and maybe we'll make it blue, or we can again use the more icons. Now let's see if we can find a skier. There we go. And add that to our map. One of the things to point out with adding place marks through a spreadsheet is when I click on that place mark, you notice I had a column in my spreadsheet that said, what makes it interesting? And I just put in great skiing in that spreadsheet. So if you wanted students to gather information and put a place mark on the map with some information already included, they could write that all up in a spreadsheet and then import it into their map layer. Now, Google Maps Engine Lite allows you to add 3 layers to a map. More than 3 layers, and you do have to upgrade to the Pro version of Google Maps Engine. But 3 layers should be more than enough for most classroom applications. And one of the neat things about Google Maps Engine Lite is that you can share it, and so you could have 3 students working together and they could each be responsible for their own layers. We're going to add one more layer to this map. And we'll just call this layer places to see year-round. And rather than using the spreadsheet option or using the place mark option, what I'm going to do this time is create a polygon, which is essentially just a drawing around an area. So I'm going to zoom in. We're going to say Baxter State Park. And I'm going to now use this draw line tool, and we'll highlight an area around Mount Katahdin. There it is. Now we can zoom in as far as we like. I'm done drawing that line. Let's try again. We could zoom in as far as we like here. We don't have to be zoomed far out like I am right now. You could zoom in really fine detail and highlight something like a football field or some other smaller object. But in this case, I'm just going to say visit and hike Mount Katahdin. If I wanted to put in a picture, I could. We could put in that moose picture again. And we can say it's beautiful year-round. And save it. So that's how we can add a polygon. A polygon is essentially a place mark that covers a bigger area than just the tip of a place mark. So now let's go ahead and share this map. Let's say I want to invite people to look at it. I can change it and say anyone who has a link can view it. I could also say anyone who has a link can edit. just going to say can view. And just like in Google Documents, I can invite people. I might invite Max to work on the map with me, and I'll allow him to be an editor. And so now he'll get an invitation, and Max will be able to work on the map with me. So that's how you can create place marks, polygons, and layers in Google Maps Engine Lite. I think it's a good way for students to create stories. It's a good way for students to create a map of places that they're studying in a social studies class or in a literature class. So give it a try. It's very easy to use once you get the hang of it, and it's a good collaborative tool as well.